Hey guys, Tommy Ady here. So I just finished up putting together some more content for the 30-day sales challenge that's coming up. And this video is going to give away some of what that's going to be about. It's the best process to follow up with unsold customers. So a question that I get asked a lot is how to follow up with unsold customers. We all want to know when to send the text messages, the emails, and make the follow-up phone calls. How do you know when you're just being a pest? And then how do you know what to say? So I'm going to show you how to know when you're being a pest and when and what you should say, when to hit the send button. Now, if any of you are like I used to be, I'd call my unsold customers the day after they left the store. Maybe I'd wait a couple of days. Then after I tried calling them a few times, whether they answered or not, I'd give up. I'd move on to the next customer, give them some time to shop. Now, why would I do that? And should you do that? Why is it important for a salesperson to wait a few days so the customer can think about their options? They got to check their budgets, make sure they're making a good decision. Well, simple. Because the customers that I couldn't close would say stuff like, I've got to shop around a little bit. I'm going to call around. I'm going to think about it, or I need a little time. Give me a couple of days. It makes sense, right? After all, I've bought a lot of high-ticket items, and I always thought I needed time to think before I pulled the trigger. If I was in the market for something expensive, like a TV, a couch, or maybe a boat, I'd check one store, get a price, and then I'd call around or go to the next until I felt like I was getting a good enough deal. But you know what? I'd already done my research before I talked to a salesperson, and many of your customers, they've done the same thing too. If I want any high-ticket item like a boat, a car, an RV, motorcycle, I've already checked stuff on the internet. I've been to the websites. I've probably walked by the magazine section in the grocery store, and I've picked up a copy of Dirt Bike, Dirt Rider, MXA, RV, whatever it's called. I don't read that. Hot Boat, Motor Trend, Car and Driver. I'm not really into the new car mags, but you get the idea? I've been doing my research on the internet, and your customers have done the exact same thing. So when your customer says those things to you, I've got to think about it. Give me a couple of days. I'm gonna go look around. They're checking the competition, but even though you should try to sell everyone something before they leave, you just can't. It's not going to happen. Not all 100% of your customers are going to buy from you. So that means you've got to follow up with them, and that's what this is about. Also, if you like the content in this video, there's a lot more over at my 30-day sales challenge at TommyAdy.com. But in this, I'm going to show you the what, when, how of following up with an unsold customer. So a customer comes on the lot. I'm obviously going to get a name, a number, email, and maybe even an address from them. Now let's assume they leave without buying, which happens a lot, right? They leave, and I'm going to send them a text within a few minutes to thank them for coming in. Here's what that text is going to look like. Hey, it's Tommy. Thanks again for letting me show you around. And don't hesitate to contact me if I can help you with anything else. Feel free to give me a text if it's easier. Have a great evening. That's it. Nothing cheesy or pushy. I'm not asking them, hey, what if I can save you some more money? Or what if I lower the price? None of that, because it's not going to work. If you offer to lower your price right then or get them a better deal, then it just means one of two things. You didn't do everything that you were supposed to do when they were standing in front of you, and it unnecessarily lowers your gross profit. Also tells them that maybe your price was too high. You just need to do what most other salespeople will fail to do, and that's say thanks, even after they didn't buy from you. And that text goes out within minutes of them leaving. That's step number one. Then step number two, now I'm logging them into my CRM. I'm putting them in there, and I pull up an email template. I choose the unsold buyer template, customize it a little, and I schedule it to go out in about 2 hours. It's going to say something like, hey, thanks again for dropping by. It says thanks again because I already thanked them one time. Now I'm going to do it again. And then it tells them a little bit about an event that we might have going on, like bike night, giving out free concert tickets, a live radio remote, free car wash, guaranteed future trade value, 30-day return policy. I'm just letting them know because they already forgot or they didn't hear me earlier. I'm letting them know about the value and the reason why they should come back and buy from me and my dealership. And I always have a couple of links to my website along with an awesome picture of the unit that they were thinking of buying. Another thing I've done a lot is worked out a deal with the local ice cream stand or a restaurant where I buy a bunch of coupons for free ice cream, something like that, and then I send those to my customers in the email or the text. Now remember, if they haven't bought yet, it's 2 hours later when they get these coupons, and now they've got another reason to come back. And by the way, I'm gonna give them all the reasons in the world so they'll come back. My next step, it's day number 2. And step 3, I've marked it in my CRM. A reminder call for me to call them in the morning. So right after we open, I have my 5-minute one-on-one with my sales manager, right? We go over my customers that I need to call, and then it ends up being about 10, and I start calling my unsold customers. Now, if they answer, then I ask, hey, John, did you get the email I sent last night? Great, did you open it? Because I put a few links in there to the unit that we were looking at last night, along with some free ice cream. Did you open it? Did you buy anything yet? Do you still want the same vehicle? Great. Since you've had some time to think it over now, if I had the perfect figures for you, is there a chance that you could come in right now and wrap this up? If they say yes, which a lot of them will, because I asked and because they want what I have, then I'm going to ask them how soon they could be here, now or later on today. Why would I do any of this? Because number 1, I just asked if they bought anything yet. They said no. Number 2, I asked if they still want what I have, and they said yes. Number 3, they said they'd take it home if I had the right figures. Since they answered all of my questions like they're buyers, I may as well ask them an either or question to find out how soon they can show up. This is the process that I use every single time that I'm selling a high-ticket item to an unsold customer. There's gonna be some variations of this at times. Some customers are gonna try negotiating over the phone. They're gonna say they're not buying it at all. Some won't even respond to me. They wanna answer my calls, my texts, my email. But for the average customer that drives off without buying, this is part of the follow-up process that I'm going to use. If by day 2 they still have not bought, they're still on my follow-up list and they will never come off of it until they buy. But once they buy, they're still going to remain on my follow-up list, but they move from my unsold list over to my sold list. I've got 2 lists, by the way, sold and unsold. So now it's day 2, assuming they answered my either or question, as I wanted them to. Now, we've got an appointment scheduled for, let's say 2:15. The morning of day number 2, I'm gonna send them a quick text saying, hey, John, it's Tommy over at so-and-so. Just a reminder that we're meeting at 2:15. Looking forward to seeing you then. I don't give them a chance to top out. And that's it. If my customer shows up, which they usually will at this point because I've been an absolute pro at this, not a pest, but a pro, and we close the deal and move on. But let's say my customer doesn't show up. Then about 15 minutes after their scheduled arrival time, I'll send another text saying, hey, John, it's Tommy. I ran a little bit longer than expected with another customer. I didn't notice you, but maybe I was hidden in an office when you showed up. Were you able to make it? You know, they're going to see my text because 99% of Americans do, and they'll normally respond. Also, they're going to say they're running late, or they'll say, I forgot, I can't make it, or something like that. No worries, is what I text back. No worries. Can you still make it right now, or do you need to reschedule for a later time? That's exactly what I'm going to text to them. Notice that now I've got a texting relationship going on with my customer, and that's awesome. Do you know why I want all my unsold customers texting me? Because it's easy for them and easy for me. I know immediately that they're talking to me. But initially, I started off by giving them the option to email me because I sent an email out. I gave them the option to talk to me on the phone by calling them at one point, and I gave them the option to text me, which a lot of people prefer. I give every customer a choice of talking, texting, or emailing without ever asking them, hey, what's the best way to get a hold of you? This is the best follow-up system in the world for an unsold buyer, and it remains this way until they show up and buy. Now, you may have noticed that I'm very rarely offering to review numbers with them, lower the price, check out rebates, talk interest rates. I just don't do it. But we're running out of time here, so I've got to take off. But this is a great follow-up process. I hope you've gotten some value out of this that you can use. Hit like, subscribe, and share it with somebody else that could use this also. Join me for my 30-day sales challenge over at TommyAdy.com. Thanks for watching and good luck selling.